guys.
Hello. So I'm here with Brooke. You gonna come in?
Hello.
And we're going to start, you're going to start the tutorial, aren't you? I'm not going to be
dive
discussing anything because I have no clue about any of this here. But if you've got any questions as we're going on about makeup or anything else, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to dive
Makeup
straight
free.
in. Makeup free right now. The best thing about a great makeup is starting off with amazing base. So I'm going to dive straight in and do some skin prep. So I'm going to start with a really light toner from Lancome, which is, I've become obsessed with the Absolute range, which they recently introduced me to, and is absolutely beautiful. So this is, doesn't it smell amazing?
So good.
It's just a really nice refresher. And then we'll give you some lovely hydration. So you were saying, Chelsea, your skin type is pretty normal.
Yes.
All over really,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I'm not, you're going to go mad, I'm not very good at skincare or anything.
My
I know.
ears.
I like wet it in the shower and then I'll moisturise and then we're good to go.
So you literally like cleanse, moisturise, done?
Yeah, honestly, I've got Astral because it's what my nana's used.
Same, my
I
nan
love
used to use
it.
Astral as well.
But
She used to cover me in it from head to toe.
I'm 30 and I use it. And like literally that's it. But I don't wear a huge amount of makeup as we've discussed, so I don't know if that maybe helps because my skin can breathe most of the time. I'm not sure maybe, but I don't,
It depends on the makeup as well,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest. But I think it's...
But I love makeup, I just don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm excited to learn how to do it properly.
What would you say are your biggest challenges with you saying like, you know, makeup's not necessarily my bag or something that I feel confident with? What would you say are the things that you don't feel entirely comfortable with or you feel like you could improve on?
I think I'm always nervous that I'm just going to look worse afterwards, so I'll just not do anything, if that makes sense. I'm always nervous that I'll get out and I'll look, I don't know, I'll look ridiculous, I've got too much on, or so I just tend to leave. I'm just a concealer because I have really dark circles. Like around my nose if I've got any just imperfections, mascara, and we'll go. Yeah. So I don't really know how to do much of anything, like contouring and stuff is terrifying. I don't know if you're going to do anything like that today.
Yeah, we'll do quite a sculpted look on you.
That's
I really
cool.
like you've got the most amazing cheekbones, so I really want to use that to our advantage. They'll pop anyway, but we'll definitely play with that for sure.
That'd be exciting.
But with you saying like you correct any like redness around your nose or anything like that, do you wear a foundation or do you typically like apply concealer in specific areas?
Yeah, so I'll just moisturise first thing and then I'll just put concealer in specific areas.
Got you.
Okay. If I'm on a night out, I'll put a foundation on, but it won't be a lot.
Okay, so I have toned, serumed, moisturised, and now I'm going to do a little eye serum as well.
Oh, thank you. Someone just said I look very nice makeup free anyway.
Yeah, you do.
That's sweet.
She's got gorgeous skin, guys, so this is really just about playing and enhancing.
Me and Brooke were discussing earlier that she did a live last night about makeup and feminism.
Yeah.
And I think we both agree that whichever, if you want to wear makeup, if you don't want to wear makeup, if you want to wear a lot of makeup, then that's absolutely fine. As long as you do whatever you want to do because you want to do it rather than doing it because somebody else wants you to do it, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah, totally. And I think with that, you know, the conversation was very much around like, well, what is beauty? How do we perceive it? Like, what are the things that are working and not working? And ultimately, I think a lot of women feel like they have to hit the ideals that society tells us, you know, this is beautiful, so you need to have the full lips, the big eyes, the perfect skin, the cheekbones, all of those things. And if you're not naturally, like, those aren't your strengths, you then automatically feel flawed. And so
which is ridiculous.
It's really messed up, yeah. So we were talking about really taking our power back as women and choosing to...
My mum's on, and she's
Hi,
going to go
Mum.
mad at this, but she always says I'm not pretty, but she means it in a nice way, and she says like because I'm not. That isn't how someone would describe me, but that's fine.
Does she mean that as in like good, the good?
Yeah,
girl,
what you
pretty?
have. If you see pretty, what you haven't, and that doesn't mean I'm not attractive to some people or whatever. But I think what you imagine as somebody is pretty.
Okay, close your eyes for a minute, sir. We dropped off there, but what
Yeah.
were you saying? We were talking about the whole like pretty concept, weren't we?
Yeah, I think I was with friends, I can't remember, Mum will correct me if I'm wrong, but she kind of said, yeah, well, Chelsea's not pretty. And I think one of my friends was like horrified that she said it, but I knew what she meant, and she obviously explained herself afterwards, and she said, I'm not what anybody would typically say is pretty when you imagine somebody really, to me it's somebody girly with petite features and things like that, and that doesn't mean, because you don't fall into that pretty bracket, that somebody's not attractive.
Yeah. Totally agree with you. It's funny how your friend responded that way.
Yeah.
It's also like she then had, it just identifies that she had a concept of what pretty meant as well.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I am priming your eyes right now. This is the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, which I love because it basically just smooths the tone of the eye and makes your eyeshadow pop that extra little bit. So some of the guys watching might not necessarily know that we obviously caught up before we did this, and I created a bespoke makeup look for you, didn't I?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Which is like the house that Black built signature makeup. So we're basically going to do a really dewy, radiant skin, very fresh and light, but we're going to team it with a smoky eye and a nude lip.
Yes.
Which I'm very excited about.
Me too.
And it's going to be a little bit out of your comfort zone maybe, because like you said, you're not, even when you go out, you keep it pretty simple.
Yeah, I do like, and I go one of two ways. I like a really bold lip, so I'll wear next to nothing with like a bright red lip,
Yeah.
or I like a smoky eye as well, but I don't do as much skin with it. But mainly because I think skin panics me, because there's so many. I just don't want to have like the wrong colour.
Mm-hmm.
That terrifies me. It's looking like I'm wearing like a lot of makeup just because it's not me. So I think I'm just gonna get it wrong. So I'll just won't do it.
I think it can also be, this is the same for me because I tend to stay fairly natural on my base. It's not just that it might look heavier than you want it to, but it's actually how it makes you feel,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, to me, there is nothing more uncomfortable than like a really heavy full coverage foundation.
Yeah. I'm not a done person either. Like I don't. Some people are just immaculate, and that's amazing. And I would love to be like that, but it's not me. Like your nails done, your hair's perfect, your makeup's done.
Mm-hmm.
I also like to look a bit more like effortless, I guess, in a way, like kind of just. No, I just look like this.
Yeah.
Which is not really true.
This is not going to be a rolled out of bed look, just.
It's like, God damn it.
This is why I'm excited though. Because I've never seen this before, on me anyway.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that, like the effortless style, because I think that's definitely how you come across with your interiors. Like it's very beautifully curated, but it's also simplistically beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it
And
definitely is that
livable
effort.
as well,
Yeah.
because we live here, and this is effortless. Yeah, at the minimal, and just I'm not a fussy person. I don't like fuss around me. I'm not. I guess it all ties in with that. I guess.
Yeah.
Most trends, I'm a bit naughty with that.
Like doing the trend thing.
Yeah. Do
What
you
would
get?
you say the trend is that you followed the most? Like the most recent one?
Oh, interiors wise.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so I don't know how to pronounce it. I got told off the other day for saying it wrong because I'd call it buccal and people I think it's boucle, you know, the teddy bear fabric.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't have anything of that and I've never thought about it, but because I'm seeing it everywhere all over Instagram, I'm obsessed with it and like I want it on everything. But I've got 2 cats and do you know, just things like that where you just get caught up. So with like makeup trends, I wanted to try the contouring thing just because everyone was doing it for so long, but it just looks like it could very easily go wrong.
Yeah. It's very simplistic in terms of the theory behind contouring, but the reason so many people get it wrong is because they can't define exactly where it needs to go, or they're not necessarily using the right product. And also a lot of the time it's the fact that the colour's off
Yes.
and it's too intense.
I literally went into Boots and was like, I bought a chubby stick that was like light on one side and dark on the other, and I bought it home and I was like, no, just put it down. Like, it's never gonna happen.
Has that been one of those products, like I think we've all had this, where it just sits in the bathroom cabinet?
I've
or the
still
bottom
got
of the
it
makeup bag
just in
forever?
case one day I have to do it.
Yes.
I
Maybe
might,
you'll crack it out
I might
after
crack it out,
this.
could you imagine? Just doing that 3 and be like, look, is this right?
Then 3 thing is a good way of going though. So it's literally like using the number 3 in this
I
respect.
see, I'd heard this. Someone's just asking what products, colours you're using, so you are talking about it as we're going through anyway. So.
Yeah, so I've obviously started to apply some eyeshadows, and I'm using one of the Chanel quads, which is the Claire Obscure 308, which is a really beautiful, I'll hold this here, which is a really beautiful like neutral palette. So I've used that flesh tone on Chelsea so far as the base, and I'm now adding a very warm like pinky brick shade, which is in the Spectrum Oceana palette. So this will give a really nice blend when I then add the smoky eye. The interesting thing with a good smoky eye is I think sometimes it's hard, and it's a good thing to like not be able to identify how many colours are in it.
Yeah.
So this is basically like the mid-tone that takes us from that flesh colour to the more smoky colours that makes it look more buffed out and soft. As we know with eyeshadows, you don't want any harsh lines. Is this feeling light and comfortable at this stage?
Yeah, really nice.
How's your skin feeling?
Lovely.
I love how light those products are. Some proper colour. So the reason, another thing here that I'll add, is the reason I start with eyes is because you can get fallout, especially when you start using darker colours. So if you get any fallout on your skin and I'd already applied your foundation, it's then going to create a muddy effect. So I like to keep the skin really clean. So we've obviously prepared the base.
Yeah.
We're going to do the eyes and then we'll go back to skin to do the foundation. It just
Cool.
keeps it really clean and beautiful. So close your eyes for me. So this is where the definition starts to come into play. So obviously it's fitting that we use some black. Obviously. But the way I like to soften it out and kind of create that blend without it being too intense is I'm basically using that chocolate brown in the Chanel palette right now. And then we'll add in a matte black element closer to the lash line.
Zinser. No, I'm joking, that's a paint that I use. It's a paint joke.
That would have gone completely over my head if you hadn't done that, I have to admit.
Sorry, I'm like vibrating, I'm laughing.
So what made you stray away from the whole like grey Instagram kind of house? Was
It's
it
just-
were you just like, I don't like this?
It's just not my not my style. Like I think those houses are beautiful, and if that's your style, that's amazing. We didn't go black originally though, straight away though. Black's always been my favourite colour with clothes, and we've always bought black clothes. But me and Mr. S talked about it when we were decorating, but I was scared to use it at first because it's such a dramatic colour, and I hadn't really seen it and used heavily in anybody else's house, so we'd always pick up loads of black accessories. I'm not modern. I see black and white. The grey and white is like a really modern style. We've got a Victorian house, so it was never going to work anyway. And I have to say, grey is one of my least favourite colours. Like I'm just not a fan of it. I like warm. If I'm going to go colours, I like warm, and grey is just really cold to me. Like I don't really like particularly like blues either. I love them in other people's houses, but it's just not something that
doesn't resonate with you.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel welcoming to me in my own house. Just like I love a maximalism style, but I want to come in and I just want everywhere to be clean and fresh. So we started introducing like little bits of black, and then I was like, sorry, let's just paint this down wall, and then it just went wild from there.
Fully committed.
Yeah, because it's your safe space, it's your sanctuary, it's where you come home from
Exactly.
busy days.
And it's funny because anything that we'd done that wasn't black, that was like, or wasn't a neutral, like was a colour, it didn't take as long for us to hate it or to go off it, and it's everything like that we've changed. But the black things we never have, so we're just on the right track with it.
It's understandable that you eased yourself in though, because black is such a bold statement.
Yeah, and like a lot of things we've seen are very gothic, and like I don't mind gothic things, but it's not. I don't think I'm black and gothic. And I think it's a very fine line between to go that way, and I didn't want to either. So it was kind of how far can you push the boundaries? I'll do a little bit and we'll wait. I'll do a little bit and we'll see, and then we're not going too far.
It's interesting how you say though, like you're a sucker for a trend,
I was about to say
but you didn't do the grey thing, which is
Yeah.
cool because I think you've then got a really nice balance of like
And
you
the trends that I
identify
like,
the
I
trend,
guess.
but you pick
Yeah.
out the ones that
Yeah.
fit for you, which I think is a nice balance.
I don't go for everyone. That's good to know, actually.
that.
I know what I don't like more than I know what I do like, if that makes sense. Like, I'm really indecisive, as everybody knows. It takes me so long to make a decision because I'm always weighing up between things that I like. But I can really easily be like, no, I know if I don't like something, and that my personal style, it's just not my taste. I don't want to offend anybody.
You see how we're building up this smoke?
It's so good.
It's gorgeous. These are such
My
nice.
pink cheeks are warm. She'll fix these in a minute.
Obviously, totally intentionally, like these colours will really make your eyes pop as well in
Mhm.
terms of like your natural eye colour. So, before I incorporate the black smoky eyeshadow, I'm going to start creating a really fine kohl liner in your lash line. And this will make your lashes look fuller as well. Your lashes look pretty good.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. So we're going with a brush after I put the liner on because it just softens that line out. I'm going to use a liquid liner in the later stages, but right now this is just giving us that soft definition. I'm just building it up. This is the Inglot Kohl pencil in black.
I love it already. I like it's kind of like that feline kind of look.
Yeah, exactly. That gorgeous shape, sexy eye shape. Okay, so I'm going to get you to look over this way for me.
Okay.
That's it, perfect. Oh, you're better than you think.
It's not my first time. What's your favourite kind of style of makeup, if you've got one?
I love the soft glam,
Mhm.
so I'm not about all the things.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I like to use makeup intelligently, so it's like maximum impact with minimal product.
I like that.
So it's
It's
like,
like me in interiors.
I guess it is, yeah,
It's
actually.
the
now I
very
think
same
about
style.
it. Yeah. So it's about, you know, like I said, using a small amount of product in a really smart way so that you don't have to wear a million things in order to get the effect. And I think it can be deceiving, like we talk about the no makeup. I literally saw a no makeup and the artist was like, okay, if I'm completely honest, I used 27 products for this look.
Genuinely, I couldn't name 27 products. I wouldn't even be like, mascara, foundation, like, where are you going?
And
It's
I think,
wild.
yeah, I think it's also challenging when you see women in magazines who have got like gorgeous skin and like perfect makeup. Firstly, they've been like airbrushed. Just close for me. Perfect. They've been airbrushed to death, but also you don't actually realise. Look up for me. Thanks, Chelsea. You don't realise how much product they're actually wearing. So I like to kind of strip it back a little bit so you can still have the flawless skin,
Mm-hmm.
but not feel like you need to invest in 12 products to get it.
Sounds good.
It's about using like high quality products that perform and using less of them just in a really smart way.
And do you do mainly wedding makeup, or is it editorial, or?
Good question. Close your eyes for me. I do all of the above.
And explains it.
I started in bridal and ventured into fashion, and I never gave up bridal because I love working with brides.
Is that your favourite?
Yeah, probably. I'd say it was. Although the beauty of fashion is that obviously the variety of looks that you create is really awesome on the creative scale.
Is all the bridal makeup you do very, very similar?
I definitely
mean,
have a
what's
style.
requested as
Yeah, I
well.
definitely have a style, and I think that draws clients in that like that kind of style, which is really flawless, gorgeous, natural-looking skin,
Yeah.
and a really clean eye. I'm very into clean beauty, so it's like
So what would you mean
not
by
fussy
clean eye?
but
Oh.
impactful.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like doing the eye or the lip,
Yeah.
and I always find that skin is the most important thing.
100%.
Even if you do a really good eye, if the skin doesn't look good, you've really lost it with the makeup. Is that your biggest challenge, would you say, is typically the eyes?
No, skin, I think.
Skin.
Just because you can see I've got really very pink cheeks.
Mhm.
I flush very easily. My friends know that if I'm embarrassed, like my entire face will just go bright red in seconds.
That's like
That happened to us in that phone conversation. Do you remember? Brooke was being really nice to me and complimenting me, and I just can't cope with it, so I had to go off screen like this because I went so red. Do you remember? And that, I think, because I don't like to wear
Sorry.
okay, because I don't like to wear a lot of foundation, but then I don't know how to kind of balance my skin so that it doesn't. So I haven't got like a really dramatic dark eye and then just bright pink cheeks.
Yeah.
A little bit like what's happening now.
Well, a lot of people don't realise as well that, say you've got an area like that, and it can be different things for different people, like some people have pigmentation, some people have redness. You don't have to wear a full coverage foundation in order to like balance yourself out. It's actually just, again, like smart technique. Applying more makeup in the areas where you need it and less in the areas where you don't.
I've seen these, you can tell me, I don't know about, I've heard about things like this where there's like foundation that's got a green tint to it, so it takes the red out. Is that a thing, or is that?
Yeah, it's colour correction.
Okay.
So green on the colour wheel, green is opposite to red. So as soon as you layer a green over a red, it neutralises the redness.
But I'm not going to look like the Wicked Witch of the West. That's like this green face.
Well, you then put your skin tone over the top, essentially, so it creates like a colour barrier for you to then put the skin tone on.
Okay.
Yeah, and it works really effectively. But again, like some products are better than others in that respect. I'm building up that eye.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do now is start playing with your under eye and get that really nice and bright. I kind of like...
Here's my mum. My mum's saying it's really lovely to see me in makeup because she never sees... Me and my mum are total opposites.
That you are doing you though and not feeling like you have to do those things.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing. And going back to like the whole beauty process. It's like if you want to wear all the makeup, wear all the makeup. But do it because it makes you feel good and it's expression and it's playful, not because you need it in order to feel validated as beautiful. Because everyone...
I recognise that smell. Becca.
Yes.
I have that.
This is amazing.
I have it.
Yeah, this has become a religion for me. This is the under eye brightener.
I have
I mean, look into the camera, like the difference is ridiculous. Love it.
I have a good product.
I did something right.
I see it. I don't watch YouTube stuff, and I just not something that I do. But I'd googled how to like cover dark circles, and I watched a video and a woman used this, and I was like, I'm ordering it. I do use it, to be fair.
This is something that I use actually most days. Even when I'm not doing makeup, I'll put a bit of this under my eyes.
Somebody's just asked, shouldn't your eyes come after these areas? They may have only just joined. Do you want to...
Yeah, different artists do different things. With me, I'm like, as long as you get the outcome you want, there's no right or wrong way. The reason I do, and it's not every time, but most of the time, the reason I do the eye first is because if you get any fallout, especially when you're using like darker eyeshadows as we are, if any of it drops onto, say, your cheekbones or your under eye, and you've already done your base, it's going to create a muddy effect, whereas this keeps everything really clean, and then I can apply the base afterwards and it'll be super fresh.
That happens to me all the time.
Does it? This way round, you don't have to do all of the cleaning up twice.
Just have 2 strips of like missing foundation.
So that under eye brightness, obviously the beautiful light reflection, and now I'm going to go back in with a concealer that's just going to give a little bit of coverage. And this is the Tom Idol Ultra Wear Concealer by Lancome. And actually, even with concealer, it can naturally feel like we want to put it across the whole under eye, but the areas that tend to get the more darkness is the inner corner and the outer corner.
Oh, okay.
So those are the areas that I'm going to focus on.
I also have a habit of touching my face a lot, and that worries me with like a lot of base makeup. I'm just going to have it all over my hands anyway and then have patches.
Powdering will make a difference with that, and also like just wearing a longer wear.
And being aware and not touching your
Foundation.
face. And we shouldn't be touching our face anyway because of coronavirus, should we?
Yeah.
So
It's hard to break those habits, isn't it?
it is.
Super effective. And then I like to take any shine off the skin once I've done that.
This is me. Someone's saying they love eyeshadow when a pro does it, but it feels drag when you do it yourself. That's a little bit me. And I'm quite prone to looking drag as well. I feel like I've got quite strong features. I could very easily look mannish with a lot
You've
of
got
makeup
big blue
on.
eyes, so it's, again, that's just about product placement. That's all it is. So it's about, like, what I've done here is focus the darker colours on the outer corner of your eye.
Rather than just slapping it all over it.
Yeah, because what we're doing is essentially, even with that warm pink brick colour, either used it across the crease of your eye and kept your flesh tone in the centre, which again keeps your eyes more open and brighter. Yeah. And obviously this will open up your eyes even more when we've got like your liquid
You're going to be this
liner
big.
on, your mascara, etc. So, and we might play with some lashes, we'll see. That's why I like to, especially like when you're doing something like a smoky eye, to keep the skin really clean. Otherwise it's going to feel like you are wearing so much makeup.
Yeah.
So it's like you almost have to like let something else go in order to bring something else forward,
Yeah.
so that it doesn't feel too much. I've used a kohl liner on you across the lash line, which creates that really like soft, sexy eye. And now I'm just gonna add, this is gorgeous, this is my new favourite, this is the Kodak Precision Liquid Liner. It's so fine,
Oh, it is.
so the detail is amazing.
I could do my cutting in with something like that. Perfect, the line between my walls and my ceiling.
Need someone to create the interiors
the paint
version.
If anyone's listening, I need the paint version of this.
It's a few close for me. Just going to take this right into the lash line. These are the little tricks that makeup artists use as well, because normally you'd be like, I'll use a pencil or a liquid. I'm obviously doing both. You won't really see this liquid other than it extending out across the eye slightly, but it just adds definition, whereas the kohl creates that smudge soft look. Open for me. Perfect. Okay, and look over this way. This is the little, it's quite tickly in there, isn't it? There you go. And the other way.
Someone's asked what the under eye was, and it's Becca.
Becca Under Eye Brightener.
I actually have that as well, and it is really, really good.
It's really good. So that's like beautiful light reflection. For some people, that's going to be enough for the under eye. I conceal in addition. I've used a little bit of concealer on your inner outer corner. For that, I've used the Tonti Doll Ultra Wear Camouflage. So this is really pigmented, so it's one of those products where like a little bit goes a long way.
And then someone said they've always gone for a black graze when doing a smoky eye, and it's never great. Love the colours you've used here. Proves you don't need to go dark to go smoky.
Yeah.
We're going to go a bit dark though.
We are. Close your eyes for me. In terms of like the colours, it really depends on your natural colouring, and this is why working with a makeup artist is so beneficial, because you can really learn like what colours work best for you. Obviously that Chanel eyeshadow palette I've used, it's all like warm browns and chocolates, which is really, really nice. And I'm just extending this out so that we can get that lovely shape. The favourite product for me that I'm going to use on you is the photography fluid. Have you heard of photography fluid?
No. I'm excited.
It's a game changer product. It's one of those like, I wear photography fluid instead of foundation sometimes, because it's just like a very light product that you can put over your skin that bounces the light, which sometimes isn't enough in itself, because it means you don't need any coverage. Because when the light bounces off your skin, it basically diminishes.
I have no idea what we're talking about. I just want to see it. I just like.
There's a little bit of black. We're starting to smoke this out a little bit. The smart thing to do when you're using dark colours, and you will have noticed this if you were watching earlier on, is I always keep the base, you know, like this brush here had my base colour on it. So I can come back in and just soften out any lines. So you're
Rather than using the one that you've got the black on.
So it's like you put a dark colour on and then you come back in with the soft colour and just blend it out, and that way you're always going to get that seamless finish. These brushes that I'm using, by the way, are Spectrum Collections. They've become absolute favourites in my kit. It's all about the aesthetic as well, isn't it? You and your gold
I can
grey
take
stuff.
a really nice picture with them. It's fine now.
So I am obsessed with cotton buds, even when I do my own makeup. They're like the easiest quick fix to clean things up. I see a question coming on there.
Yeah, you know, so someone's asking, are you blending in black and softening, or are you using multiple colours?
So I always start with the lightest colour and go darker. So I used that neutral flesh tone eyeshadow. Then I moved on to that pinky brick colour, and then I built up the chocolate brown. It's kind of like, you know how you said when you started using black around the house, you kind of had to use suggestions of it, and then you build it up. I like to like start with the chocolate brown, and then build in the black.
I just get the black, I'm just like, hey, and we'll just go all over it. Like, I look so dramatic. Someone's asking, are brushed up brows still a thing? Now, this is a good question, and I'm interested, and I hope it's a yes, because I literally 2 days ago discovered soap brow. In the sense that I got a bar of soap and I brushed them up and I was like, they stayed there.
It's a massive soap convenient, so it's in a tin.
Yeah, you haven't got
it lasts really nicely. It feels, this sounds BS, but it just feels more legit than putting soap on your eyebrows as well. For me, that's a thing anyway.
I'm a little bit like, I like using things that I've already got. Like because I've got like a decent set of eyebrows that do need filling in, but they're not really thin or really sparse. But I like to fill them in a little bit, and because I never had anything, I just used to use a bit of a dry mascara, just like run it through. Same thing, isn't it?
It's multi-use. It's smart. If it gives you the finish that you want, like why not?
Yeah.
So this is the beauty of makeup, is you can be playful with it.
What's
if it doesn't work, you just take it off.
Yeah.
This is photography fluid.
Ooh.
Can you see the brightening effect on your skin?
Yeah.
It's like proper light bounce.
Look at these cheeks. I'm getting warm now. Can you tell? It's all these lights.
We have got a full setup going on here, haven't we? So I'm just blending the photography fluid out, and then we can put your base on over the top, which will obviously just balance out that redness for you.
Very good.
And like I said, we can focus more attention on coverage here, and then keep it fairly soft everywhere else, because you don't need a lot of coverage. You've got really lovely skin.
Oh, thank you.
Can you see how gorgeous this foundation is on your skin and how the redness is going? I'm using like the lightest amount as well.
And I can't feel it. Like, I hate it when you're wet.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. So, and I have added a bit more dew to this. So what I've actually done, just full disclosure, is I have mixed the Skin Lift Foundation by Rodial with a little bit of their Diamond Serum, their Lift Serum. Because I just like to sheer it out. I don't like to over cover the skin.
Yeah.
So I'm just concentrating on building up the cheeks a little bit so that we can even that out, and then I'm just using what's left on the brush to just blend out across the rest of your face.
I think because I've got freckles as well, and I don't like a full coverage, it's really hard to know where to balance it, because I don't want to hide them, but then when you can see them a little bit, and I think that's a bit of a tricky area as well.
This sounds very generalised, but most people need more coverage in the centre of their face, which is why when I go in with my foundation on any client or model, is I will start by applying the foundation in the centre of the face, and then I'll buff it outwards. That way you're not overusing product or over covering your skin.
Oh, everyone's so nice.
Like I said, it keeps the eye clean as well, because we're not applying loads of stuff, it's not getting fussy.
Yeah, everyone's saying how well it's gone over the red.
Yeah. Love it. I'm like an over blender as well, so I'll be here for like 20 minutes just blending them on.
It feels really nice though, so you can just carry on.
Well, it's also that serum that I put into the foundation. So guys, if you ever want to like sheer out your foundation, I prefer to actually use a full, like moderate to full coverage, because then you actually cover all bases. You can build it up if you want to. If you want to sheer it out, you mix it with a moisturiser or a serum.
There you go.
And the serum that I'm using, so I paired the Rodial foundation with the Rodial Pink Diamond Drops. And this has got a slightly slippery effect to it when it goes onto the skin, but it absorbs really nicely and it doesn't leave a weird residue on the skin. And now we're going to do the soap brows.
Yay!
I've even got it ready here. So soap brows looks like this. It's that type of
Do
product
you want me to
that
go
lasts
in the
a
bar?
million
A
years.
stinky bar from upstairs, or we can brush that in.
The important thing with soap brows is to actually wet the soap first. So you can use a little bit of water, or you can like a setting mist. One thing that I learned really early on that I had to figure out was to not over wet the soap, otherwise it doesn't give you a lot of grip.
Okay.
And okay, so I'm going to give you like a full brow tutorial basically, because this is game changer.
Yay!
Go against the brow initially. So I've obviously got a bit of brow soap on my spoolie here.
And it won't surprise you that I literally don't do anything with my eyebrows either, other than just like pluck them around, so I've never done any trimming or anything like that, so if they go wild I do apologise.
No, I actually prefer a natural brow, and I think it works nicely when you are then applying a soap brow, because the effect that you get from soap brows is that your brow hairs stay in place, so you get like really nice lid space, but it keeps your brow fluffy and natural looking.
I love a fluffy brow.
We're doing a fluffy brow. And then you can use your finger to just really set the hairs in that.
So do you kind of like,
Direction.
I didn't do that, so do you apply a bit of pressure just so it...
Exactly.
Right,
It
okay.
sticks, yeah. And then what I will do for Chelsea once I've done the soap brows is I will use just a little bit of brow product to just fill and define the brow. You can really see the difference from one side to the other. So again, I'm just going in the opposite direction of the brow hair, and then coming back again and just creating that. I don't want to go up because sometimes it can look a bit severe, but I'm kind of like taking that diagonal. How did you? So I'm currently using another. I don't have. It might come across this way, but I don't have a million like absolute favourite products. But this again, I feel responsible for half of the global sales of this
What is
product.
it?
It's the MAC Shape and Shade Brow Tint. So again, it's like the finest. I want to say like felt. It's like a felt tip pen. It's not a brush. And the reason I love it, again, like going back to Clean Beauty, the finest stroke will create basically a replica of an individual hair strand. So the amount of product that's actually going into your brows right now is so minimal, but it makes a really big difference. It just cleans up the shape without needing a lot of stuff. It's fuss free. It's really easy.
I think we've all been there with the pencil brow. I hope that never comes back.
It certainly will one day. You know how everything goes round.
And then you have to think, don't get pulled into it. It doesn't suit you. Don't
Yeah,
do
don't
it.
follow
Don't do
that
it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, the minute someone saw Cara Delevingne's brows,
Oh my
they
God,
vowed
they
never to
are.
touch theirs.
They are amazing. She's known for her eyebrows, isn't she?
Yeah.
So just
How are you not singing along? If you heard me sing, you'd know how. You'd know why I was not singing. I am in my head. You don't want to hear that.
This 8 Hour cream, I'm just putting some lips. I'm not ready to do a lip colour yet, but I just like to keep them super hydrated. And I use a cotton bud, obviously hygiene, but also I like to basically smooth this across the lip because it slightly exfoliates too.
It smells really nice. Do you know? Isn't it weird? Like, I recognise that smell. I must have, or somebody must have used it, like my mum or somebody.
Yeah, well, it's one of the oldest going beauty products.
She's just called you old, mum.
I'd be saying that about myself, like literally, I live my 8 Hour cream.
But I recognise it. Like, it's such a
Yeah.
like a familiar
nice
smell.
smell,
Oh, I
yeah.
love it. Oh, somebody's brows didn't grow back. Microblading. Oh,
There's
that
some-
makes me very nervous, you know.
Yeah.
You have to find a good part, like a really good
There is
part.
so,
But
you
it-
have to put so much trust into that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you think you've done that, and then it's too late, isn't it? If you've not.
Yeah. There are some really excellent brow serums.
There are. Oh, for
So
growing.
that's, yeah. So that's another.
There are also
really good
people
option.
great at microblading.
Microblading, yeah,
But,
there really are.
That makes me very nervous.
Always look at a portfolio. Would
Yeah.
be my biggest piece of advice.
anything that permanent just scares me.
Yeah.
Can you look up for me? So I'm just going to build in that soft pink colour. Again, I'm just going to build up the bottom lash line in the same way I did the lid. Soft pink, and then I'll bring in that smoky element. You said that you kind of like do makeup, but you don't do
I
makeup.
like hands. No, yeah.
No, I like hands as
Oh,
well.
do you?
Yeah.
Like,
Even when I use a brush, you might have noticed I'll still go back in with my fingers.
yeah.
Because I think that you need to feel the makeup.
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah, I like. I'm just not. Yeah, I don't use tools for. Everyone like goes mad at me here because I don't wear gloves when I'm doing like DIY and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you really painting, because I like to feel things. Yeah, I think I don't. I was asked what's the trick to doing under eye shadow. Is it shadow?
Yes,
Or
this is
under
shadow.
yeah. Putting what's the secret to putting? I can't even read eyeshadow under the eye.
Trick is to use a small brush first and foremost because you're applying it to a very concentrated area. So again, if the brush
Looks
is
good
too
now.
big, it's going to look too intense. But can you see how much that frames your eye? Just
Like
having the
that's made such a
slightest bit.
difference. Yeah.
And that's the so with the under eye, I would definitely say first and foremost, like you can see the brush I'm using here is really fine and fairly flat, so I can really concentrate where I want that smokiness to go. Another trick is obviously like before I put this on, I put that pinky mid-tone on underneath so it doesn't look too strong and it's got something to blend out with. So again, I'll go back in with my pink brush and I'll just soften that through. So again, like no harsh lines. I also applied the concealer first as well and slightly powdered.
Oh, thanks,
so it
Sam.
gives it grip.
I love it when people actually know me, like, who is that? No one's ever seen me with this much makeup on, thanks, Sam. Somebody asked something before and I missed it. Which brow serums are good?
Brow serums. So I have used Rapid Lash. They do a brow serum and I can't remember specifically what the brow product is. It's probably called Rapid Brow. That's very good. And I'm also keen to try it, and Soap Brows have actually just sent me their new brow serum.
And you
I
like them
haven't-
already? You like them for the other products, so
Yeah,
maybe.
so I'm inclined to try that. This is the mascara.
What?
So it basically allows me to keep the lashes super light and fluffy whilst coating them and getting right into the root.
Okay.
So I'm going to do the under eye first. So this just picks up the lashes, allows me to coat them without them getting heavy and spidery. Yeah, a lash fan always throws people off.
That's one of the brushes that I would want to buy because it looks really cool, but I'd have no idea what.
That's the thing with makeup, is like, it's not like a slap it on and hope it goes well. I like to like build it on.
Because that would be my technique, not yours.
Just get it on. Get it on there.
Gotta be out in 10 minutes, get that on.
That's the beauty of a good brush though, is it does actually speed up your technique, your makeup application.
This is amazing, I'm fascinated by
Yeah,
this.
it's great. Can you see how it's picked up all those lashes? This is the Sheer Mirror eyelash curler. These are like iconic. I think most makeup artists, if they were asked which eyelash curlers should I use, it would be the Sheer Mirror. And the Kevyn Aucoin ones are meant to be excellent as well, and so are the Charlotte Tilbury. Just to throw out options. All the things.
It's like on radio when they mention someone, they're like, but the
Yeah,
suppliers
yeah.
are available.
And look down for me. Beard lash curlers, I don't know if you've heard of them. They work quite well if you get a good one. I literally bought a random one off Amazon and it worked pretty well, but I also think if you've just got some good eyelash curlers, you don't need the heat. And this is now really making your eye colour.
Question for B, everyone is talking about retinoids?
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah.
At the moment, how important do you think it is to incorporate into your routine? First of all,
I've
what
seen
are
this
they?
yesterday. Yeah.
I feel like I need to learn more myself, and this is something that I'm actually
You
playing
think
with at the
about,
moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
What are they? What is it?
It's really focused with skincare,
Okay.
and a lot of people don't realise that your skin is actually more active at night time. So if you're going to use like concentrated products, it's better to apply them at night.
Okay.
The most important thing with your skin is to keep the cell renewal going. So I'm like, my most important thing is exfoliation and moisture. So, and obviously a good serum. I think skincare can be like seriously underestimated.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm just going to take my time to build this up nicely. Skincare routine: cleanse, tone, serum, moisture, and then I will use a mask once. Contour with the Chanel de Beiges, just in a deeper shade. Let's choose a brush. So the angled contour brushes are great because they obviously work to the contour of your face. So I'm going to go in with some of the bronzer. I like to tap the brush off as well, so that we don't get loads of product on the skin. And then I'm going from the top of your cheekbone in a lifted position towards the centre of your face. So I think that creates more of a lifted effect.
Oh, you can tell already that looks so nice.
Gorgeous, yeah. And I love this because it's not orangey, it's not metallic, it's not got loads of glitter or anything in it. So it looks super soft. So into the temples, essentially you want to contour the areas of your face that when you look at yourself straight on, dip in. So
Okay.
you're emphasising the hollows.
Any top tips for blusher placement?
Again, the great thing about working with a makeup artist is you can figure out like what works for you and what doesn't, because they're obviously different. We all have different bone structures, face shapes, etc. Very generalised. You want to work with where the centre of the eye meets the bottom of the nose and you go towards the top of the ear.
Okay.
So if you look at the centre of the eye
Yeah.
to the bottom of the nose, you're kind of like here and you're going towards the top of the ear. So typically if you're doing like a contour, a highlight and a blush, your contour is going to sit under the cheekbone and your highlight's going to sit on top of the cheekbone. Your blush typically will sit between the two.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So we're going to go around your hairline and then slightly under the jaw as well.
I did my roots especially.
Did you?
Yeah. So there's no way I'm having that many lights at me and grey hair.
I was going to clip your hair, but it tucked so nicely behind your ears, I didn't feel like we needed to. You shared on your stories yesterday. So I'm going to do a little. I know that you've used the Iconic before, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I like Iconic.
Super light reflective, very pretty. And this is where I do go in with fingers a lot of the time. I'm just going to press this into your skin on the top of your cheekbones. But this is like a Tadar type product. This is the original, the colour original.
I've got this.
Is it the original one as well?
Yes.
It's beautiful for picking up the light, isn't
really
it?
nice.
Have you ever mixed this with your foundation? It does add a really nice element.
Yeah.
So this is just Cupid's bow, tiniest dash, and a little bit here, interestingly, just in the centre.
So, but I have a question. You know how you put liquid on top of powder?
Mm-hmm.
How do you make it so that it doesn't,
Cake.
and it doesn't look rubbish?
Cake.
basically?
I have to admit that is an art. Sometimes I'm like, should I?
That's a good idea.
I'm like, how do I answer that question? I feel it out again. It's how you apply the product
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
and the type of product that you use.
Mhm.
So obviously, if I was then trying to put a powder over the top of that,
Yeah.
it would stick. So that's what you have to be really careful of. So now I'm not going to put a powder blush on Chelsea. I'm going to use a cream blush.
But you-
My thing is I've got like quite fine lines around here and I'm always nervous that stuff's going to sit in them and
Yeah.
then like make that worse.
Yeah, and that, well,
It hasn't on
the
here.
light reflective, the under eye brightener I've used around that
Ah,
area.
that
So
stops
again,
that.
it's light reflective, but it's not metallic. So it's just about being super intentional with how much product you use and where you actually put it. Can you see the light bouncing off your cheekbones? And see when the skin is really clean and light, it doesn't distract from the eye.
No, it's still the thing that you see straight away.
Yeah. Awesome. One thing that I didn't mention, and I'm just going to use a touch more now, is I use the Rodial, I think this is the peach, yeah, this is the Rodial peach powder. This is an amazing product, I have to say. They gifted this to me, and when I tried it, it instantly smooths the skin. And I just am applying this in the centre of your face. And I use it slightly in your under eye to set your concealer. So we obviously don't want any like hard
No.
light reflection. We want the light, but we don't want like a dewy effect under the eye. So it just adds that to help hold the liquid. I'm using a completely different product on the cheek to what I
That's
found
what you
on
said.
YouTube. So this is actually a lip product. This is the Lip Glass by Coday Beauty. In fact, they print their colours so small, I can't even read that. Can you read the shade?
Minimalist?
Minimalist. There we go. So this
Appropriate.
is... Yeah. This is actually a lip glaze that I'm going to put on as a blusher. I think this is like a really common mistake. We want to put some colour on your cheek so that you don't look washed out, especially with us doing a fairly nude lip.
Yeah.
But I think blusher can look way more intense when you've got a smoky eye, so it's like
Yeah.
adding something, but not. You have to be really careful to rein it in.
Yeah.
If you ever overdo it with your highlight, contour, blusher, any of it, what I tend to do is go back in with my foundation brush and just buff it out.
Oh, okay.
And again, if you apply product and it's it's kind of got a harsh line to it, just go back in with your foundation brush and you can just soften it out like so. So you can see how the contour is under your cheekbone. We've got that light pop with the highlighter here, and then the blush just sits between the two. And this might seem odd, but I go slightly across the bridge of the nose as well because it just looks more natural. Obviously you'd had a blemish or two come up on your chin, so I'm just going to go back in with my concealer. This is the nice thing about this concealer, the Tommy Doll Ultra Wear, the Lancome. It's good for under eye and complexion, whereas I find with a lot of concealers it's like one or t'other.
Yeah.
So this, I'm just going to add a little bit of coverage here. And this goes back to the principle of like add a bit extra in where you need it without feeling like you've got to build up coverage everywhere. That's what we need to do.
No, that's pretty cool.
Again, to keep like that effortless beauty, what I want to do is use a liner for definition, but not create a precise line. I want to blur it out slightly. So I'm always like super cash, following the lip line. I don't want it to look intense. And I often fill the lip slightly with the liner because it helps your lipstick hold for longer. So that was the Makeup Forever lip pencil. This is just me blurring out the line, keeping it super soft. Do you like that colour? We like this colour.
Really nice. I think it's hard to find a nude lipstick. It's
Oh my
actually
god, I have
nude.
them all, yeah. And the nude spectrum is actually so wide, because you've got like brown nudes, pink nudes, peachy nudes. I'd say this is slightly more, like ever so slightly on the pinky nude scale. And I press it in because again, you don't get that harsh line. We don't need to do any lip trickery because you've got really nice balanced lips. Blink whenever you need to.
Malta. I've never been to Malta. I'd like to go there.
You've got peeps all over the world. That's amazing. I used to live in Christchurch and Nelson for years over in New Zealand.
Were you born here and then you went and then you came back?
Yes, yeah. I feel like I've lived everywhere. Did a lot of travel as a kid because my dad had a job that required us to travel a lot, so
So many life experiences doing that, though, don't you?
yeah, it was awesome. Although I did New Zealand, I actually went over to visit family
Greece?
and didn't come back.
What?
So it wasn't really planned. Yeah, I'm kind of spontaneous like that.
That's cool.
I went to visit and lived there for 3 years.
What did you do? Like, how old were you?
I was 16. So I left home when I was 16. I went to visit my family there shortly
Stayed.
after they moved. I think I was 17. And then I lived there for a few years until I came back. So
That's cool. I lived in Spain for a few years.
Did you?
With mum
That's
and
cool.
dad, yeah.
What part of Spain?
Torrevieja, near Alicante.
No. I've always wanted to do Barcelona.
Barcelona's lovely.
Yeah, I haven't been to Barcelona either. That's definitely on my list.
Really
too.
nice.
Oh, they are lovely. I do love a lash. These just add something. The reality is, you can have really amazing mascaras, but you can't do what a false lash does with a mascara
No.
every time.
They say you can, but you can't.
They lie. I love individuals as well. Even with strip lashes, I've recognised this. My favourite, I prefer with strip lashes is the ones that actually have an invisible band.
Yeah.
The black band is fine if you want a black band that looks like a liner. But
Yes.
if that's not, if you want like a gorgeous lash that looks really natural, I find that the clear band's a bit better. These are like a medium length. And I'm applying them all to the outer corner.
When I went to get extensions, I was like, I want the shortest, thinnest, smallest things that you do, and it still came out. And they were like, wow, just because I'm not used to it. If I go and ask for something extra, it's going to be wild.
Did you adjust or did it feel too much?
No, it did adjust. It took a while for me to get used to it. I just felt like I could see them.
Because I've used the Black Smoky, I am using a black lash adhesive. There we go. They feel natural?
Yeah.
Light, easy. Awesome. And you'll obviously see the adhesive looks white right now. That will dry and you won't see it.
Okay.
And I think we're pretty good. And this is purely because you have a million lights on you right now. There we go.
Is that is my? You check I'm switched on and that plug? It just flashed up saying low battery again, but
There you go. No, it's not switched on.
cool.
It's good that you noticed. In fact, it wasn't fully plugged in. There we go. How is
love
this
it.
feeling to you right now?
So nice. Like I don't feel like I've got those. I don't feel like I've got any makeup on.
Yeah.
The lashes a little bit. I'm just like, is it?
And they're
sticking
drying
very-
right now.
Yeah.
So they'll be doing their thing. Oh yeah, we've had full movement on the
I
lashes.
feel that one going. But that's something that's stuck on your face, isn't it? So I would expect to feel that, but everything else feels so nice. My skin feels lovely.
And yet you're hardly wearing any foundation.
Yeah.
It's super light.
I just love that all that pink went.
Look.
Yeah, this is it. Should have done something with my hair, but never mind.
We'd love to get your guys' feedback.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye
We'll go, yeah?
guys. Bye from the hand.